Hello, everybody. So I am Emmanuel Bidet. I'm in charge of core network in Orange Labs Networks. To make it short, I have mainly two responsibilities. The first one is to, of course, define core network evolution for all Orange affiliates. And the second one is to bring support to all Orange affiliates in core network deployment and operations. And for me, it's very important to have these two responsibilities because it's very important that the reality, that the concrete problems that we have in the fields feed the strategy that we are going to deploy. It helps, I must say, to be very pragmatic in our choice, and that's I am going to try to explain to you. Let's say first begin by a few words on the title of my presentations, On-Demand Networks. On-demand networks, of course, is the promise that we have for customers. We want to give them high added value services in real time with agility. But behind this, there is a huge transformation. A transformation of our business, a transformation of the relationship that we have with our partner, with the vendors, and maybe the most important, there is a huge internal transformation within Orange. And that's why we want, within Orange, to go step by step, to experiment, to learn, to deploy, to learn, because we know that the journey will be long, it will be difficult, and if we want to succeed, at the end of the journey, we will have to make this trial, this experimentation, and this is a point for me that is very important. I have to. So as the journey is long, we have to start it as early as possible, and this is already done for Orange. We have been preparing this future for now a long time. We have been investing, we have been involved in open communities like OpenStack, OpenDaylight, OpenAV, ONAP. I will come back to this later on. We have been working with partners. For example, we have a strong partnership with AT&T. We have also contact with other telcos, other European telcos, DT in particular. And we have also strong partnership with research institute. For example, we have a good partnership with the French Research Institute on computer science and applied mathematics, and this is key if you want to be on track for the next step when we will, and this is already the case, work on artificial intelligence, on machine learning. We have also already deployed some services. The first one, well known now, is EasyGo Networks, which is a VPN on-demand service for international enterprise. It is now widely deployed. We have 8 POPs in the world. And the offer is, of course, going very good now. And maybe the last point that is important to show is that we have, during the last year, of course, integrated in our labs a lot of VNF, but we have also deployed in some affiliates VNF, and we have, of course, some example of will VNF operate in the affiliates. For example, we have VIMS and VPCRF in Moldova. We have IN VNF to have a recovery plan in Poland. So we have several examples like this. And again, it's very important for us to have these references because it helps us to have a good understanding of what is virtualization, what implies cloudification for all the teams that we have. In other words, it helps us to be more confident in this technology. And this is the step where we are now. We are confident enough in this technology to make a step further. And the step further is to enter in an industrial mode. That means for me two things. The first one is to really decouple infrastructure on VNF. And our view on this is to do this, we need to control the infrastructure. That's why, within Orange, we have defined the target architecture that we want, the target infrastructure that we want to deploy in all the countries. It is based on Red Hat OpenStack, Juniper Contrail, with hardware coming from HP and Dell. And it is important for us to define this infrastructure deeply enough to be sure that we'll be able to control the evolution of this infrastructure, and that we will be able to onboard on this infrastructure VNF coming from different vendors. So the first step was to define this target infrastructure. The second step is now to deploy this infrastructure in all our affiliates, first in Europe, but very soon also in EMEA zone. As you know, we have two regions in Orange. We have Europe, we have EMEA zone. I would say we have three, in fact. We have Europe, we have EMEA, and we have France, which is not in Europe, as you know. But France, I must say, is almost 50% of our revenue, so it's a bit particular, and we have to. It is considered as a region in our organization. So we are going to deploy this target infrastructure in our affiliates. On the first country where we will put this infrastructure is Spain. So we want, I would like to go a little bit more in details. What does it mean, industrialization of these transformations? The first thing is that we want to capitalize on the asset that we have already deployed. The first one is, of course, EasyGo networks. So we are going to offer new functionalities. We are going to add new functionalities to this offer. We will very soon also extend this offer to other markets, and we plan to target also the small and medium enterprise with this kind of offer. We are working on all the use cases. Recently, our CEO, Stéphane Richard, has announced during the Hello Show, that is the Orange Show on Innovation, he has announced that we are working on the virtualization of the box. So this is also a use case very important for us. And of course, we have other studies on this. The second point that is important is that we are continuing to work on network and infrastructure. So as I said before, we have a plan to deploy the target infrastructure in all our countries. We work at regional level and we work at national level. At regional level, we have already in Europe one POP, and we will add a second POP in 2018. So we will have two POP in Europe. And at national level, as I said before, Spain will be our first country, and we plan to have two POP, point of presence, for this infrastructure in the first half of 2018. We are also working on the sourcing of VNF. So the first VNF that we will introduce on this infrastructure is VPC. VPC, why? Because it is, for us, the VNF that is needed for different reasons. The first one is, of course, we have a lot of capacity extension. So we have a lot of investment on this part. We have specific use case, IoT use case, PMR use case. We have also, we think it could be also a good solution for example, to have a better service in small islands. So we have identified different use cases, and we have launched an RFP early this year, and we will make the decision before the end of the year. So VPC will be our first VNF that we will put on this target infrastructure, and we have ongoing study for the VNF, VIMS, and VNF, for example, on the GI line. On maybe the third point, so we are working on business, we are working on network and infrastructure, and we are working also on our internal transformations. So we have already made a lot. Maybe the most important was to centralize our operations. This is a prerequisite if we want to go further toward virtualization and cloudification. Now we have one network operation center for Europe, except France again, and we have one network operation center for the EMEA zone. And this will allow us to go faster in these transformations. The second point is that we work also with vendors in order to modify our processes. For example, we have been working in the last months with Ericsson on CI/CD. And we have introduced CI/CD even for PNF in our processes. For example, we have today one version every month on the EPC. And this is also means that we don't have to wait virtualizations to make some steps. And the last point on this topic is that we have launched a huge we call it a software culture program to promote within the group all the skills that we will need in the future, end-to-end, DevOps, let's say software culture, more generally speaking. But we want to continue to accelerate this. One way to do it is to rely on open source communities. Open source communities are important for us at least for three reasons. The first one is that it helps the ecosystem to maturate. That's obvious for everybody. The second point is that it helps also to have solutions that are interoperable. And this is also very important for telco like us. And the third point, and maybe again one of the most important, is it helps us to accelerate our internal transformations. It helps us to get the skills that we need to speed up this transformation. So maybe one of the main communities where we are involved is OPE NFV. We are a great contributor to this community because we think it is important, and we think that as telco we have a lot of added value that we can bring. And we are, in fact, I think the first operator that contributes to OpenAV, and we are among the 5 main contributors of this project. We have, to give proof of this, we have recently organized the first OPNAV Plug Fest in Orange Gardens in Paris. And again, it was interesting to have this event in our headquarters, where nearly 4,000 people are working, because it helps again to promote the skills that we need. And more recently, it was two days ago, we have also organized in Orange Garden the Open Source Networks Days, and it was, I think, the first meeting in Europe. So we have also, of course, other big open source communities where Orange is involved. ONAP. And ONAP is also very important for us because is seen as the key to promote orchestration, automation, and it's key also to have an interoperable system at the end. We are involved also in OpenStack, in OpenDaylight, but as the time is running fast, I will not give more detail on this. So open source is good, but we want to go further. That's why we are, as Telecom Infrastructure Project members, we have launched with a partner, with Facebook, Orange Fraps France, which is a telecom track accelerator designed to support startups focused on the network infrastructure development. We need also to move the ecosystem to have a large offer of VNF. So now there is, we can find, of course, all the network functions that we want in a virtualized way. I must say that we can say also that we can find all the network functions that we need in a cloud-native network way. The step that we need to make now is to have full automated VNF. And I saw this morning that everybody is now very focused on automation, and I think it's really the key for the future. There is another point that is, for me, very important: security. If we want our customer confident in the solution that we offer, we have to be sure of the security of our systems. And security is often viewed at the end of the process. I think it's really the wrong way to deal with security. We have to focus on security right now at all levels, on the infrastructure, on the VNF, and I think we have to create more momentum on this topic because otherwise it will be too painful to secure the system that we will have designed. So in a summary, what I would like to say is that, as I said before, we have now enough experience. We are now confident enough in the solutions to be volunteer in the deployment of this kind of solutions. And again, what we want is to control the way to do it, and we have decided to control the infrastructure in order to be able to put on this different VNF. The second point is, of course, and we have seen also this morning, the business model will change. This is true for telco. This is, of course, also true for vendors. We have to reinvent all this, and I am personally convinced that the key in all this is to rely on the customer needs and to have really open systems to offer this, to answer to these needs. The third point is that the limits, the frontier between think, build, and run activity is more and more difficult to find. So we have, and this is particularly true for the telco, we have to reorganize ourselves and to think operation since the beginning. And the last point is that if we want to succeed in this transformation, in this journey, I think we have to move all the company that we are representing here today at the same time with consistency. And if we do so, I'm sure we will take benefit, we will take all of us benefit of this. To conclude, the French football team succeeded yesterday and will be in Russia next year. Orange, I think, has done a good job with the experimentation, and now we are going to the next steps. In Russia, there will be only one winner. Fortunately, in our business, I think that, again, if we are all on the same page, I'm sure that we will take all of us benefits of this transformation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Emmanuel.